The Nacc Podcast, Know the Corruption, Know the Truth.
Hi guy, welcome to the Nacc Podcast, Know the Corruption, Know the Truth. And today's episode we invited you to know about bribes. The evils that hinder the country's development. Have you noticed that recently? Taz like to smirk more often.
Really, I have it too, until my family asked me what's wrong with me. Why do I smirk when I read or listen some news about the corruption?
It's a common symptom that everyone has, spreading far and wide. It's not a disease at all.
I know what you mean. I guess I smile with the corner of their mouths because they hope that the problems of bribes or kindness that are sensational in each news story will be punished to the real or small people.
I'm aware again. Let me go back to the famous cases for you to listen to, so you won't forget. For example, truck bribes use stickers as a symbol. At first glance, it seems like a joke. But it turns out to be a funny sticker worth thousands or tens of thousands. To pave the way for overweight trucking. Online gambling bribes were revealed as a scandalous matter that shook the police force, dragging down the country's image because a police officer at the provincial commander level was accused in this case, which was a form of extortion from illegal gambling businesses, totaling 140 million baht. Local government officials extorted bribes from the news of the arrest of a district chief, with the behavior of extorting 100,000 baht in exchange for renewing the license to operate a Type 2 hotel, which is providing rooms and restaurants. According to the Hotel Act of 2004, which has a hotel license fee of 20,000 baht. The gap in discretion that allows government officials who cheat to make millions of baht per year reflects the deterioration of the civil service system. Exposing the civil service officials extorting bribes for building permits is a hot issue in Bangkok that found civil service officials from a district office extorting benefits for building permits from the normal procedure of 50,000 baht, but they demanded a bribe of 300,000 baht. The incident has photos and evidence of the bribe. Immigration favors the Chinese mafia reflects the decline in the circle of government officials, which opens the way for groups of foreigners to seek benefits, forming a gang of bandits to commit illegal acts, with government officials facilitating them, as if inviting thieves into their own homes, just for their own personal gain. These are just some of the cases that are probably not the first, and it is probably not something new for people in the area who have to suffer the fate of having to endure, accept, or have to turn a blind eye to it. In addition, many business operators have turned a blind eye and used money in exchange for convenience, allowing their businesses to move forward faster, until it has become a deep-rooted culture, with both those who give in and those who want to accept.
While each case is fierce, not afraid of anyone at all, I really wonder why the bribe problem has been overlooked and is still a loophole that government officials who are never aware of good governance have the opportunity to have, and frequent opportunities to solicit bribes.
That's because the root cause of the problem comes from the word discretion, a short word that causes billions of baht in damages to the country every year. It is also a problem that blocks the progress of national development, just because they are only interested in how much money will go into their pockets each month. Discretionary power can be called power that the law gives to the administrative sector. This means that there are many activities that government officials have the power to consider whether to agree to pass or not agree to pass as appropriate. It was found that there are government services related to discretion, related to business operations, and a large number of people
Do you have any examples so that we can understand more deeply?
Here you go, sir. For example, in terms of investment, for example, requesting investment promotion privileges, helping to coordinate and facilitate investors, registering a business, requesting permission to construct a building, considering environmental and health impact assessment reports, requesting permission to operate a business, renewing a business license, etc. In terms of trade, for example, applying for an importer-exporter card, applying for an industrial standard certificate, customs procedures E.g., import-export, etc. All of the above. If the processes or procedures that the private sector has coordinated with the government sector, it is possible that when the two main characters meet, between private employees and government officials, if there is an informal agreement, both parties accept the terms of the agreement improperly, where the private sector agrees to pay money as a pass for government officials to give the green light to open the way for everything to be done in business to proceed quickly, move forward quickly, be more convenient than other private sectors, or be able to do business longer than others. Even worse, if the green light from the government sector is illegal or lacks good governance, we the people are the ones who will be affected, directly or indirectly. Therefore, it is not strange that the discretion of government officials will become a weak point and accumulate until it becomes a culture of paying for convenience. And of course, the problem of government officials using their discretion improperly to seek benefits or demand compensation or bribes does not only affect the country, but also affects the overall economy of the country and significantly affects the corruption perception index CPI score of the country, because a few rotten fish can drag the country down badly. And it seems that the justice process has only brought down small fish, unable to track down the big players who are masterminds and supervisors behind the scenes, thus unable to completely wipe out the bribery and corruption circles of government officials.
I understand, it is clear now. However, I think that Thailand will not stop trying to seriously fight against bribery problems because there are still independent organizations, media and citizens who are working together to solve the bribery problem in the country, such as the Nacc, which emphasizes preventing loopholes from discretion by assigning the subcommittee to study the control of the use of discretion by government officials in performing duties that affect the rights and freedoms of the people to create measures to prevent corruption. It has also arranged for improvements to the administration to prevent or suppress corruption or wrongdoings against official duties according to Section 32 of the Organic Act on the Prevention and Suppression of Corruption B.I.T. 2561, which has proposed suggestions to control the use of discretion by government officials in performing duties that affect the rights and freedoms of the people. The criteria for the use of discretion will be set more clearly in the form of criteria, announcements or manuals to serve as guidelines for the use of discretion by government officials in accordance with the law. And the officers should adhere to the principle of using discretion, and there should be evidence or documents to confirm how the discretion was used. In addition, information related to the use of discretion by government officials in approving and permitting must be disclosed to the public through various media channels that the public can easily access and allow the public to examine and express their opinions.
This is called consistent with the theory of Professor Robert Kitgard, an American economist whose research on corruption is widely accepted. He proposed a conceptual framework for the problem of corruption in the form of an equation called the corruption equation. Corruption equals monopoly plus discretion responsibility mechanism. It is an equation that shows the problem of corruption will increase if the economic system has a monopoly and high discretion. On the contrary, the problem of corruption will decrease if society has a good responsibility mechanism. Therefore, it can be seen that the mechanism for using discretion will be transparent if it consists of a responsibility mechanism. In addition, for the problem solving to be effective, the Nacc also sees that reducing the use of discretion by introducing digital technology to control the permit consideration process will see better results. Now, do you see the benefits of digital technology? Promoting the use of technology in public services in various forms to prevent problems of the abuse of discretion by government officials is a collaboration with the Office of the Civil Service Commission (OCSC) and related agencies to support the use of efficient technology in the approval and licensing process, etc., to reduce the channels or opportunities for direct contact between service recipients and licensing officers, and turn to digital technology to guide humans, which will help in making approvals and licensing more transparent, fair, and faster. In addition, there is a linkage of data for consideration of approval and licensing with the Ministry of Digital Economy and Society and the Digital Government Development Agency Public Organization to develop a system for government agencies to link various data for consideration of approval and licensing according to the missions of each agency, including the preparation of guidelines and manuals for the use of discretion by local government organizations. By having government agencies involved in the use of discretion by local government organizations and government agencies that delegate power and missions to all local government organizations, set guidelines and prepare manuals for the use of discretion by local government organizations in approving and licensing, so that there are standards for the use of discretion by local government organizations in the same direction. Or even the Bangkok Metropolitan Administration. It is well known that this is an agency that is at risk of bribery. Therefore, important measures have been issued, setting a framework and guidelines to prevent corruption in the work process of Bangkok, including 1. Seriously prohibiting bribes and adjusting penalties for violators at both the executive and operational levels, through inspections from both the BMA's internal audit project and the listening to complaints and reports of problems from the public. 2. Developing a tracking system for the process and requesting permission tracking system to make the request for permission transparent, setting a total processing period of 45 days, pushing for the submission of documents in a one-stop service format. 3. Introducing technology to help reduce the use of discretion by officials, such as introducing a system to help calculate construction requirements or using a system to consider requesting permission to inspect construction plans, etc. 4. Reducing direct contact between requesters and civil servants, changing to contact via information technology systems to collect evidence of contact and reduce the possibility of corruption.
Honestly, I think that in the end, these measures may help reduce the problem of bribes to some extent. But another way to show seriousness depends on the justice process. There must be severe and swift punishment, not just a transfer and then disappear. After a long time, people forget about it, and the matter is brought up again as a court case. Because the years that have passed have been full of questions about whether there was an underwater process to clear the way for anyone to escape. Of course, it does not have a good effect on the country's image. And don't forget that every bribery problem is under the watchful eyes of many countries all the time.
We have to test our courage because this is a test for leaders, whether they are leaders of government agencies or national leaders, to see if they dare to come out and fight against the problem of bribes and kickbacks, which we all know have influential groups of people with high ranks hiding behind the scenes. What we see sometimes may just be a farce, a little bit of drama, that they are serious. but behind the scenes, they help cover it up and let it become a chronic problem that destroys the country.
We have to help each other, show sincerity in solving the problems for the relevant sectors. The dangers that hinder the country's progress, such as bribes, kickbacks, and kickbacks, will gradually disappear.
Spokesperson, honest, fair, professional, transparent, and verifiable. Office of National Anti-Corruption Commission.